Hello, Prash. Hello, everybody. Today we're gonna talk about special sign, special symbol, very ancient Vedic symbol, Aeioum. What Prash can interpret what this really means, how can affect our bodies, water, because we are like 70-80% water, and then what is the connection, why it's important, and we can start Prash to explain, to help people understand what this ancient symbol means, because nowadays not everybody knows this symbol, Aeioum.
Yeah, the thing is that again we'll have to come back to the Vedic, basic knowledge. So in that Vedic knowledge, this symbol, which people know visually, they know the symbol. Most people know the symbol, like which is like this, which they'll see in the video here. Now this symbol, the sound of it has gotten lost in time, so which has happened to so many other Vedic sciences and with so much Vedic knowledge. So the sound has been lost. So now people just call it Om. Okay. This symbol now started being called Om, just OM or AUM. Okay, just OM or AUM, that. Okay, so then, but the point was that this sound was the sound of creation in Vedic. Creation. Creation means all of creation. Because word makes the world. Yes. So then sound of creation. Now in English, there are 5 vowels, like A, E, I, O, U. Okay, like 5 vowels. In Sanskrit, there are more, but they are based on the same thing, like A, E, I, O. So there's a U as well. So there are these vowels, okay, but they're basically the same A, E, I, O, U sound. Okay, now all the vowels should be coming out of this sound of creation. So then that's why I changed the sound from Om and brought it to the original sound, which is Aeioum, which has all the 5 vowels. Okay, so people can see this film, which will be there right now, to see how this is pronounced. what is the sound of this thing, and people can actually go through that. And it is like a so this is the basic sound. Okay, so now this sound can actually connect you back to the basic source code of the elements. All the 5 elements, everything in nature comes out from this basic. So in Sanskrit there were mantras, which is called mantras. People know about mantras. So all mantras used to start with this symbol. Okay, so then this sound has to come before any mantra for it to have any meaning. So this was a starting point, for anything. So
it's like complete 12, what covered 12 zodiacs, yeah? Sound.
Zodiacs, like that, people can see in the, when you take this sound and put it into cymatics and get its image, you'll get 12 cones. 12 cones. Now 12 cones are like how the zodiac 360 degrees are divided into 12 signs.
Yes.
Like 30 degree each. So those 12 cones represent the 12 signs. This is how this creation has been created. That's how you divide a circle of 360 degrees by 12 to 30 degrees each. So in this you can find everything. You can find connection to the astrology, Jyotish. You can find connection to sacred geometry. You can find connection to all the vowels, language, anything. All comes from this root thing.
So but this basic what you're talking, what do you think? Because a few days ago, NASA officially said that there is 13 zodiacs with additional zodiac looks like Ashlesha moon additional. So if we're talking about 360 degree, which is like golden ratio cycle. So now they're saying that it's 13 zodiac, which is not really covered with this, what you're talking about, this sound and golden ratio, about 12 zodiac. This is not fit, this number 13.
Yeah. But then if you divide 360 by 13, you can't divide either.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That they always try to put information which is saying a bit true, but the rest it's a lie. For example, if they move the zodiac back a bit, it's closer to the Vedic because it's 24 degree in the back. So like Sagittarius became Scorpio, so they are more close. But they still saying there is additional zodiac, 13th zodiac, which is not really covered this 360.
Yeah, that's confused people. That's confusion in the present. And what this symbol sound did have changed, there is confusion from the past. Last so many thousand years, people have lost the basic sound, and I brought it forward. So in that, that's why this Aeioum Shanti is written in those things, like it is. And Shanti in Sanskrit means peace. Okay. So first is sound and then peace. Okay, that's the meaning of what is being written out there. So which you can explain to people about that.
Yes, the Prash helped me to to create is wrong the word to produce. Just create the copper pump, which is very connected to Ayurvedic, to Vedic ancient knowledge, because it was used in the past to cook vegetarian food with the influence with copper, which is very good for our health and the body. This is a missing element, which is very important. A few weeks ago, some scientists from some journals, they says that the copper, they can kill the cancer, so have a very good influence for the cancer. So the Trivedi helped me to create special shape of this copper pans for cooking, also the cup and the bottle for water, and also with the writing on it was Aeioum Shanti. What this mean? What you explain now? Peace, and also can have an influence for this water. What the people will cook or the people will keep the water in this copper pumps. They definitely should have some influence. So the molecules of the water crystal that definitely will react on this sound. What you think?
And what people can do is like take my recording, recording from this video which you're going to put in this, and they can take my sound recording and play it next to it, like wherever you store the water and you play the sound. And then vibrations will go into the water and it'll energize the water in that way. So that is going to happen.
This is it what you always said in the previous interview, that the nature react on the sound, react on the proper.
Nature responds to intention immediately. So intent is everything when it comes to nature. There's a very ancient Vedic symbol, which looks like this. Now, so that's called inside-out way. For example, if you play some sound and some rainbow happens in the sky, that means you played the right sound, which nature gave a biofeedback. It produced a rainbow in the sky. You played a certain sound, and then maybe rain started happening. I had gone to Australia and there was one place where rain had not happened for a long time, and I played a certain thing and rain happened within an hour or two. It was a big thunderstorm. The whole evening it was lightning, thunder, and it was a lot of rain. Divine is complete, full fractality, and nature is always tending towards fractality. Like a person has connection with nature, I can sign my name under it that that person will never get depressed. Clinically, never get depressed. Depression is not possible. A lot of people ask me this question is like, but how do we connect with nature? No, how do we connect with nature? My answer to that always is that, like, tell me, how do you connect with people? With anybody, any person. First, if you have to connect with some person, you'll have to show interest. Secondly, when you go in front of them, you'll have to behave properly in front of them. So in the same way, you connect with nature. First, you have to show interest in nature. And you have to approach with respect. And you have to approach properly.
And point of putting this on the bottle also, there is another thing. When you see Aeioum and Shanti all the time, right? Then you always, there's more effect is on your brain, that you always think of Vedic. By looking at that, even like if somebody in Poland looks at that, then they'll be reminded, oh, this is Sanskrit, this is ancient, this is Vedic. It'll remind you
Yes. Yes.
of Vedic all the time. It's like a continuous, this is by look, this is not by sound. Okay, this is by sight. When you look at something and it produces a mental impression in you. Okay. So by
When you got it in
keeping
your
on looking,
subconscious, yeah? Coded in your
subconscious, yeah.
subconscious, the symbol.
Yeah. So like this is by sight here. By sight also. You look at this like symbol, like, and then sound, and then you will automatically be reminded of, oh, sound of creation, peace, sound of creation, peace. So these things will increase in your being, as a whole. So it has another purpose like that. Visual purpose, and then audio people can use, audio.
Yeah.
There is sound and light, both things are covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have metal pumps. On the west side was many years was promoted aluminium pumps, which is not very healthy for this is like a poison for the body. The aluminium, which is everywhere now in the food industry. The equipment for cooking is made from the aluminium, which is not very healthy. And what would you say about the Vedic knowledge regarding the copper?
Right.
Why
Right now, the thing is, see, with copper, it is that, like when you put water in copper, okay, some reaction happens. Water reacts, like steel does not react. Steel is neutral. Like if you put water in steel, steel does not react with water. Okay. So steel keeps water as it is. So it's neutral. So whenever you cook in steel, it's called neutral cooking. When you want no change at all, you cook in steel. Okay. Okay, like there's no change. Okay, copper reacts with whatever you cook. So some copper will go. Now, if people have copper deficiency, which these people these days have, so then keeping that and having some copper, that thing is good for them. Okay. And aluminum also, like, is not exactly like the worst thing, but people don't need that much aluminum because body carries aluminum. All metals are there in the body. Okay. Problem when happens is when something becomes too much.
Yes. Yeah.
Then it becomes a poison. Okay. When it becomes much more, then so steel is like a safe thing because but copper is a positive thing. It's like a medicine. Okay. Because that earlier a lot of copper utensils were used in Vedic times. Okay. So people always, like, they were putting the water in there and then drinking from there or whatever. So they always got the copper required. Nowadays, copper is not in fashion. Nobody uses copper usually. Like, so then the thing is, then people have deficiency.
You're not using copper because nowadays everybody wants to clean fast the pumps because the copper also they change in colors, but that's normal for the copper. But it's very easy to use warm water with the lemon to clean.
Yes, it's very clean. And the point is that whenever you do put water in it, do not put it for too long. Okay. With copper, you have to remember to not keep things for too long. If you just put 3-4 hours and then you have to finish, you cannot keep for 24 hours.
Yes, because it's very powerful reaction.
Because then it will become too much.
Too much.
So one has to have a sense while using it. One cannot like totally go overboard. Like, so because you need the right amount only.
Yes.
Like you don't need too much or like too little. But right now people have deficiency because nobody is using copper in anything. So obviously there's a deficiency. So like that, these things will solve using them in general practice in everyday life. Like you have the things on your website products. So if they use them, they will obviously but they should use them in like moderation. What I would suggest, like, do not overdo it.
Yes.
Like do not cook on it every day. Like, okay,
yes,
like once in 3 days on a weekend, or like you say in Sunday there is a soup made in Poland, and
soup. Actually, on the Slavic countries, soup is number one. This is based on the history also because it's very good for body because soup is based on water, and all the vitamins, ingredients are more melts so it's
Yes.
absorption is much better. So I always think that soup is very healthy.
And people can obviously and try it with more vegetables and stuff, only no meat and stuff. The soup,
Yes,
that'll be
yes.
better. Yeah, yeah. So
Meat,
vegetable soup.
I would say that meat is not so much poison as the antibiotics and the injection what they use for production this meat. This is very killing
Yes, obviously.
proper bacteria flora
Very
in
dangerous
our
nut.
stomach. Yeah. So the copper also kills bacteria, also kills coli bacteria straight away. But the bad bacteria, but that's why, because it's close to the nature, so recognize which bacteria is not good for body.
So vegetable soup making every week, and that's a good start. And you can use turmeric in it as well, because turmeric is something which people do not know about. Like it's a particular kind of herb which is very good for disinfection and cleansing in the body. So it's so if you make a soup with turmeric in the copper,
Turmeric, yes.
vegetable soup. So that is the best thing possible for the body. So according to Ayurvedic tradition. Okay. So and turmeric also, I think we will be like your shop will have it soon. So we'll have the turmeric for people to get.
The best quality, as you said.
Best quality, like organic, 100%.
Organic, yeah.
Yes, we will have that. So
there is a big difference between the products, herbs, which is stored many years, somewhere dried. They losing during the time they losing the ability to cure people.
Yeah,
and
it has to be organically grown. Yeah, no fertilizer, no pesticide, these kind of things.
Yeah.
That is very important. And then it's a proper herb, and then it's fresh, it's done, and then just like gotten to thing as quickly as possible. I mean, like not like 10 years old or that.
Yes, because we don't know this, but when I went to India to check the tea, how they produce the tea, how they pack. So I realized that a lot of European and Western countries, the importers, they import not the first quality tea, but the rest of this, what left, and they pack this in the sachets, small sachets, so the people can't see what is inside, and they make it tea. But this is much different to use the
fresh leaves, or
fresh
anything.
leaves,
I mean, obviously, like the fresher the thing, it'll be better, and more organic, it'll be better, and you will have that product soon. So along with the copper, they can use that, and so that'll be a good start for the whole country to go towards a Vedic direction as a whole. The Aeioum will be there, the basic sound of creation, Shanti, peace, then copper's properties, healing properties, plus turmeric, plus like the sound vibration. Everything will come together
every frequency
practically.
in
To come together practically, like in a practical way, and so that'll be a good thing. So people should start going in that way, and it's very nice to see. And then even all of Eastern Europe and that thing, if this kind of thing can start, and people, and through this, the Vedic awareness and Vedic knowledge will increase, because everyone will get the more Vedic awareness. Like that is 100% going to happen through this.
So, because based on astrology,
that's the best part for me.
Based on the time the planet influence. So now when we go into this 11th house direct this direction, this is house of Aquarius, but Aquarius is also known to promote peace.
Yes, obviously, because if you don't have that, then you can't actually focus on anything. You can't get any knowledge. You can't do anything. You are just in turmoil. None of these things happen in turmoil. These things need a peaceful.
So can you see connection?
Mindset. A peaceful internal way of being, to be able to focus properly. And focus is a huge problem in today's world. People are not able to focus much, because that peacefulness is not there. So and it is a very important. So the Shanti, my name is Prashant, which is means deep. Pra means very strong, and Shant means peace. And the same Shanti is written out there, so
Shanti,
so
Trivedi is very
the Shant word is very, even if you say the word Shant, you feel a peace. Shant,
Mm-hmm.
Shant. It creates a sense of like something is calm now, calming down. Like
Mm-hmm.
just the sound itself, you know, gives that vibration. So if you say Shant,
Yeah.
like so
It's
so
not
in
it's not
Polish
Mars.
people try and speak, yeah, if they speak that, and they'll find that how it affects. They can check the
Mm-hmm.
thing
Some
themselves, do
people
the experiment.
can't realize that how the sound can influence them. But like you said many times in the interviews, that very important is what you're saying, how you're saying. Yeah, if you're going straight, then it's important. Then it's important what's react in our body, and also distortion of different emotion. That's why the people maybe have more aggression in themselves. But everything has influence in nature. Yeah? Everything, reaction, action.
Yes. That's why everything is important. That's why everything has to be done mindfully and in full consciousness. You can't just do things just like that without knowing what you're doing. Like in your car, if it's diesel car, you don't put petrol in it. Like if it's a petrol car, you don't put diesel in it. Okay, like you you have to be aware, like what are you doing?
Yes. But today's very funny thing is that people they are excited about different kind of technology, the style of life, but it's sometimes similar. We can compare to the monkey with Kalashnikov. Yeah. To give the monkey Kalashnikov, everybody escape because you can't predict what happened.
Yes. I mean, their tools are in the hands of people which they are not fit to, use. You don't have the internal coherence. You don't have the internal knowledge. You don't have the internal perception or consciousness to use those tools. Okay, so first get that, and then only use some tool. That's what I would suggest.
In ancient texts was always says that the mentality, consciousness has to be on the proper connected to the technology, because if technology is going too fast and consciousness going down, then
conscious going down, like there's no point.
There's no point.
And then you will only have trouble. You will only have trouble, and that's what's happening. Like so.
Because in Vedic books also we have this Mahabharata, the wars, how the people will fight with the new technology, like nuclear bombs, maybe, I don't know, but it seems that there was big they destroying themselves. So probably it happens that the technology went too fast and the people was losing knowledge.
Yeah, and even in that, like there are a lot of rules and stuff. I mean, Mahabharata still, like there are a lot of rules to using everything. There's a lot of moral ground. There is not like things are not just used just like that. It is not. It was still very, very controlled, and people had much more consciousness. The beings who were using it, and if someone misused it, then they got punished, and they didn't. And those things were neutralized, because in that time, any weapon which was there, you could neutralize that weapon. A being with higher consciousness can neutralize that. So no matter if someone doesn't have much conscience and they use some weapon, and then it can be called back. It can be neutralized. So that was the case. And finally, that will always be there, because there'll be higher entities and beings which are higher levels. They will stop the thing from happening. So that is always going to happen. So
that was a true story about I don't remember. It was over 100 years ago, maybe less. It was before Second World War that some rishi from India went to yogis or rishi went to they cross across the Russian border, and they've been catched by the soldiers, and they put to the prison. They didn't eat, they didn't drink. The torture what they used for them against them, then they just didn't feel anything. So this general asked the officer asked them to teach Russian soldier to be so strong as they are. Yeah? So they agreed, And after 3 months, they said you can't eat meat, you have to do this. They use a lot of different rules, but the project was rejected after 3 months because the soldier didn't want to shoot to the other people.
Yes, yes. Obviously, because your consciousness changes.
Yes,
Then
yes,
you are not a soldier anymore. Like
yes,
you can't be part of the army, or you can't be part of the system. You can't be part of the whole thing.
The project
Anyways.
was successful based on that the soldier really have they had the more power, they more healthy, more strong.
Yeah.
But the general was rejected because they didn't want to kill anybody.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, obviously, your consciousness changes. I mean, your priority, what do you want to do in life, will change. Because after that you want to evolve. That is your priority now. Like it's a different perspective completely.
Yes.
So, and I think that's the Vedic perspective. That's actually the Vedic perspective. So through all of this, whatever, when people will use the copper, or people will see the Aeioum, people will see the Shanti, the whole Vedic thing will come in resonate. That's the main point. The word Vedic will come into their consciousness, and from their knowledge will come, from their more understanding will come, from their more evolution will come. So that's the main point to any of this. That is the actual. So I think that's enough for people to like. I think people can take it from here, and
this is important part to spread this all over.
Yes.
Because everybody are connected. So if some people they will see that they're using this healthy lifestyle, they're using proper herbs, copper, and then they will see the differences. Then of course they will follow them.
Yeah, obviously practical experiment.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Gregory,
for today, and we will meet the next interview. So thank you very much once again.
Yeah. Okay.